Hello, welcome back. Messenger from Satiz. Bump. No idea. Your guess is as good as mine. Research in thaumaturgy. We hit 5. Primarily this is for Gateway, but we can now also Soulslight. I was looking at this telestic animation as well. Is this useful? I might have to check. Since we are having Dominion problems, I thought maybe if we start animating priests in every province, maybe that'll help. They can all start preaching or something. It says that they are imbued with great priestly powers. I would hope that that means that they are higher than H1, but I don't know. I'll check out what that spell does exactly, and I'll get back to you. I can also cast Gift of Reason, maybe, someday. We also got some research into evocation. There's nothing too interesting here just yet. I do have some fire guys scripted now to cast Fireball for an upcoming attack move. Summon some stuff, including a Coquethiad. I'll check that in a second. Cast Dark Knowledge, did not find any sites. Tried to dispel Vengeful Water. This was unsuccessful. I'm going to put up an extra video in front of this video to talk about decision making I made this turn. So I'll go into. You should have already, if you watched that, you'll have had more detail about this. But if not, we failed to dispel it. We're not going to try again. We did a lot of site searching in sites that I noticed we hadn't searched thoroughly and didn't find anything. In all but one site, which was Dunvale, we found an Iron Cliff, which is just one Earth Gem per turn. We lost some stuff to Vengeful Water. This was a shame. One of them was a priest that I had getting ready to build a temple in a province that has a Titanu in it, so that's unfortunate. And the other one was just a scout. Unexpected events, nothing too interesting. We got attacked by Gaian events, got some growth, some misfortune, and my unique hero has been shrunken, which is quite funny, I suppose. The Throne of Gaia events have ended, which is good. You can stop worrying about those. Stop worrying about patrolling and putting up province defense and keeping forces on hand to take back independent provinces. Lost Redbud to Gaian units. The Bane Venom is now in Cormark. We got rid of the False Prophet event, which is nice at least. Should we watch that one? This is the one Ditanu that I haven't shown off yet. I was kind of wondering, because this is the guy who's got the Shadow Brand, right? Yeah, I know this is AoE 5, so this will probably hit some of my Sacreds when it goes off. I am interested just how bad that is. Because I was thinking maybe this guy should only lead skeletons, because I think they'll be immune to the Shadow Brand. Oh, looks like he's not going to get a chance to hit anything. Okay, well that's too bad. But we got rid of that event at least. Cured 2 diseases, patrolled some stuff, and lost a scout in Gatiz's Dominion. Alright, so first things first, this is a lot of arrows. This turn looks like a nightmare. It's such a nightmare that I actually took notes for this turn, so that I'd remember everything I did. So, let's see. I'm going to leave movements to last because there's a lot of movements. So I've split this up into forging, gearing, building, and rituals, which makes sense. Forging, first of all. I'm forging a Sanguine Dowsing Rod. That's over here with my newly empowered guy. We have one already. We need 2 because we've got 2 Blood Hunters now. So my Pretender, who is already Blood 4, is going to do Blood Hunting. Little guy is going to forge a Sanguine Dowsing Rod. And then we'll have 2. And then we can start Blood Hunting with both of our guys. Excellent. I am also forging a new pair of winged shoes. That's because I gave the winged shoes that I had to this guy. Because we have decided to attack Ulm. And I figure if he can fly, he can take back this province, go to here, and then fly into Elmish territory. So this guy is supposed to be lightly geared. He's looking almost completely geared, but whatever. He's fine. He'll be just like that. And he'll fly into Elmish territory eventually. But for now, he's still just taking back provinces that we lost to events. I'm also forging a bottle of living water with the Cocky Thyad. No idea how you actually pronounce that, but I prefer to just call them evil naiads. She's just forging a bottle at the moment. This is a cool unit. She's got Fear 8, Invulnerable 15. She's stealthy. She recuperates. Only has 15 hit points. Should be 10, but that's with the buff, I think, from Gift of Health. So she's pretty fragile, but she is Water 3, Death 3, which makes her able to do some stuff that I can't otherwise do. And currently she's just going to be forging bottles, though. Probably do that for a while. I'm also forging a Amulet of Breathing on my Ergo. This is just to give handoff to a priest, so that the priest can go underwater and build a temple in Green Waters when we have taken it. Last thing I'm forging is a Crown of Bones. Somewhere, yeah, down here. So this is this item. It costs 10 death gems, but it gives you 75 undead command. I'm forging one of those this turn. The reason I'm forging that... Yeah, let's go on to rituals being cast this turn. This is quite good having notes. Maybe I should do this every turn. Because usually I feel like I'm kind of desperately trying to remember what I'm actually doing this turn. The reason I'm forging that is because this turn I am having Dome Lover here cast Teleport. He is going to teleport all the way back to Ashdod. And he's going to pick up all of this stuff that is currently in Ashdod. The Sacred Giants, at least. And then he's going to gateway to the front lines. But if I give him the Crown of Bones, then he will also be able to lead the skeletons as well. So he'll be able to gateway the giants and the skeletons. Hopefully they can all fit through the gateway. I'm not sure how big a gateway is. But that's the idea anyway. So he's teleporting to Ashdod this turn. I'm also casting 2 domes over Queen Forest because it's quite an important province. I'll get domes up here and in Machaka probably to defend against any rituals from Ulm. But we're casting Dome of Arcane Warding and Dome of Frost. So they'll be up next turn. Other rituals are just basic stuff like summoning Mazix in Dendra to keep patrolling for our Blood Hunter. Good stuff. Buildings going up, or there are some... I think I'm building a temple. Yep, building a temple in the First Forest. We have the fort still going up in Queen Forest. That goes up next turn. So that will be... It's currently just the Palisades. It will be upgraded to the fort next turn. And we're also upgrading the Palisades in the Parched Expanse to a fort, and that will be 2 more months. And that's it for everything I've got written down. So that just leaves movements. So we are, as you can see from the... There's a general directionality to the arrows, which is eastwards. We're attacking into Ulmish territory. Ulm seems like the easiest target at the moment. A bit easier to attack into than Tianqi. I decided it's just too hard to attack into Tianqi. If I managed to take down Vengeful Waters, I could have tried. But with Vengeful Waters still up, I just don't know how to fight into him. So I'm going to attack Ulm instead. Ulm is a very soft target, and he currently is the person who is killing off Xibalba. But apparently he had some difficulty taking Xibalba's cap. So most of his troops must be over... I don't actually know where Xibalba is, but I assume it's over here somewhere. And they're also getting owned by Xibalba. So this is a great time to attack him in the back. So my plan is to try and just take a lot of this territory very, very quickly. Partly just to have it, and partly as well because it helps me put even more temples up in this area to help push back against Tianqi's dominion. It'd be really nice to kind of connect my territory so that I can have a nice band of temples here pushing back against Tianqi. So only one attack is happening this turn, and that's my Ditani who is attacking into Green Waters. It's just him. He's set to just cast Astral Shield and resist magic. I doubt there's a mage here. It looks like there's just a couple of troops. So the resist magic is probably unnecessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. So he'll bless, Astral Shield, resist magic, and then just walk forwards. And that should be fine. He shouldn't have any problems with Marrow. He's up to 1 star of experience. I'm also moving an army that is pretty small, but mostly just priests, a few mages, and then a handful of troops. However, this is sufficient to knock over Palisades in 1 turn, because this only has 100 defense. So we'll move to swamps this turn, and then we'll crack open this Palisades immediately the turn after, and then the turn after that we'll storm the fort. Next turn, I haven't moved any of these troops out yet. I put them all in the garrison so I can look at them. But they're not moving just yet. I'm still patrolling in First Forest to get rid of the event that was here. But the turn after this, hopefully this will be gone by then. But if not, we'll at least move out with some troops and mages in Queen Forest. They'll move towards this fort to try and take this back. Or try and siege this. So we should be just on Monarch Woods next turn, and also maybe in this province as well with a different army. But this hasn't been set up or scripted yet, so there's nothing really to show. And other arrows that are over here are mostly just moving some useful mages and things. Like my prophet is moving forwards, a couple of nature guys and priests and things are moving forwards. I've got an S2 guy with the Shade Mail. I don't know if Ulm can mine hunt, but just in case, he's going to accompany one of my Ditanus. I've got this Ditanu over here, who's going to be heading into Solemn Wetlands, and he'll start raiding next turn. So we'll have 2 Ditanus raiding in Amish territory next turn, and 2 armies taking forts. I'm also moving over lots of priests. So one of the purposes of doing this is, obviously I need priests to bless my troops, but I also just want priests putting temples in every single province that I take, to be honest, because I really want to pump up my dominion in this area as fast as possible. So the good post boys will be bringing up the rear, putting down temples, and I should be flying most of my Malaks over as well. They might already all be over here. One's building a temple, one's sneaking, one's here. Not sure where the other one is. But when I find it, that will be start flying over as well. Oh, there it is. She's preaching. Okay. Let's move her into Queen Forest, I think. Queen Forest is lacking on priests at the moment. Oh, mind you, it's got all at H2, so maybe not. Either way, just making sure everything's moving over here. Also maybe some air mages, because I don't have any air mages, so I might be able to do something with those guys. They're moving over. That's about it. So I'm pretty sure that's everything I'm doing. There are a lot of other red arrows up here. It's mostly just moving nature mages up into this area so that I have some, because I don't currently have any nature mages in this area, and they're nice to have. And I'm also moving some more nature mages here up as well, but that's all. One last thing to mention though is I have my werewolf here has been given a robe of shadows to boost its stealth, and an amulet of anti-magic. She's just carrying that down so that she's in this area, so that she can hand the amulet of anti-magic over to Pretender and Smallering Surgery when he leaves the water, because he's currently got the pills of water breathing, and he won't need those once he's taken this province. So that should be everything. Recruiting scouts, recruiting a couple of mages, and that's it. I'm going to hit N a couple of times, nothing left to move. Good stuff. Ending turn. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in turn 56. Hello, and welcome back. We got research in Evocation 2-4. This doesn't look too interesting. Not much I can cast here. I could cast Bladewind, but we're about to invade Ulm, and I don't think Bladewind is the spell versus Ulm. if I'm being honest. But we'll keep going. Summon some mannequin. We cast teleport into Ashdod. I may have forgotten that we put domes over Ashdod and that you shouldn't do this. But dome level 69 is a big boy, and he's got fire resistance, so he didn't really care too much about getting hit by fire. He was not injured at all, so that's lucky. I almost did the same thing this turn because I'm casting Gateway, and I almost gatewayed into the province that has Astral Dome and Frost Dome, which would have been a bit stupid, but I managed to rectify that at the last moment. We Arcane Domed our Witch Province, and Frost Domed it as well. We found 11 Blood Slaves, pretty nice. Battling Lupia. So we started actually using our Ditanos to do stuff. They're just taking back independent provinces at the moment. Especially from Vine Ogres. These are the last of the Throne of Gaia events. And this is my lightly geared Ditani with the Winged Shoes and the Storm Spool. You can see the Storm Spool doing 1 damage to a lot of people. Which is fine. It takes a little bit of time, but he's not under any he's not really under any kind of threat. Cleans up nicely. We do get diseased, but I'm pretty sure this doesn't do anything to undead units. So we can pretty much ignore that, I think. That's nice. Lupia took that back. Same story in Redbud Grove. We had the Shadowbrand go here with the giants and the skeletons into a much smaller army. But we do get to see the Shadowbrand go off at least. Let's see if it hurts my dudes. I mean, I guess it does. I don't think it really matters that much. That one didn't hit them. Wow, he hits hard. Well, anyway, we'll take the Sacreds off him eventually and just have him leading skeletons. That's fine. In Green Waters, we attacked Ulm this turn. So at the moment, Ulm might not realise we're at war because I did say I'd buy the lake, and maybe now he's thinking, oh, did he mean the whole lake? Because I haven't actually spoken to him yet. So this is the same story as the other one. They can't really do much to me. Get the idea. Is this guy got the... no. Someone's got a horror helmet. That was Green Waters. Let's go quite well. Queen Forest, we lost an entire village to Vinemen. This is my Witch Province. Triggered some different kind of Vinemen event. This is not a Throne of Gaia thing, this is some other event chain. Feral Woods, men have been lost in the woods, locals say a dryad has lured them. A nature mage may be able to cull some secrets from her, magic +1. Don't know what that means exactly. But I am moving a nature mage to Feral Woods this turn. I guess we'll see. Lost some income in the Kazakh Highlands. This is the Queen Forest, under attack by Woodhenge Druids. There's these guys now in the first forest. Kill the Cartesian scout. Can't finish the fort in Queen Forest again because it's under siege again. And did some patrolling. You can see another great event this turn is that my Ditani went insane. Yeah, this is the turn that I was going to be invading Ulm for real. We were going to have this army moving on to Monarch Woods, which is still happening. We were also going to have this Ditanu moving into Troia, which we cannot do because he is currently being insane, so we'll have to wait a moment. And then we were also going to march out the forces in Queen Forest, which we also can't do because it's been put under siege by a Woodhenge Druid. So we're going to have to break siege first. So, all in all, good start to the war. You know, this is what we like to see. Plans coming together. I wrote down what I'm doing this turn again, because it's such a useful thing to do. Let's do forging first. I'm forging 2 more water bottles in Queen Forest with my water mages. Gonna make a few of those, and then I'll start remote searching for water sites, I think. Be nice to have 10 water gems per turn, because then I can make a water bottle for free every turn. Also continuing to forge winged shoes. somewhere in Fungwood, and also another Storm Spill. And you can see I'm also moving one of my mages over to Machaka. I'm moving a couple of mages to Machaka because it has the ritual range increase. So that would be useful to have at least one of every path in Machaka to do. At a minimum, site searching spells maybe. Last thing I'm forging this turn is a Flame Helmet back in Ashdod. This is the final fire booster that I can forge. Well, there might be others, but the two easy ones are the Skull and the Hat. 2 fire boosters lets me cast Dome of Flaming Death with any F2 mage, so that would be quite useful to have. This does cost 25 fire gems, unfortunately. It's a bit expensive, but we only need one of them lying around in the stash. Buildings going up. I've got a temple going up somewhere. I've also got the fort finishing in this throne province this turn, so that's being upgraded. Temple I think is in Stone Heavens, yeah. So I'm getting a temple up in Stone Heavens. Try and beef up the Dominion defense in this area against Tianqi. We're up to 2 white candles now in Bandar, which is nice at least. And I'm not doing any other rituals this turn really. I'm doing a couple of remote site search spells. I'm doing Dark Knowledge over here. And summoning some Mazics for Blood Hunters in Spire Woods. Nope, moving a Blood Hunter, a Mazic summoner to Spire Woods. I'm summoning in Dendra. We're also blood hunting in 2 provinces now as well. That's quite nice. There's a few other little movements up here. I'm moving the Titanu who's got the skeletons down. I might keep him in this area just to be on defense, I suppose. But the flying one is moving to take Ablak back next, and after that he's going to fly into Ulm. I'm also moving anyone who still has a disease in Bandar Log, because there are a few. This province only has 2 white candles at the moment, but Parched Expanse has 10 Dominion. So we're going to move all our diseased guys there to get healed very, very quickly by Gift of Health. Other little red arrows are, this is the Nature Mage going to do whatever this event is. The Nature Mage may be able to cull some secrets from her. I don't know what that means. Hopefully it doesn't mean I have to attack something, because this guy probably can't kill anything. But there's also a Nature Mage moving here to summon Mazics. Nature Mage is moving up. I want to have a Nature Mage in all these forts, that they can summon Mazics whenever I need to. So there'll be one in Ashdod as well. And I am of course gatewaying Dome Lover, who has all of these wonderful units. Look at that. This guy could probably knock over a fort in 1 turn by himself at the moment. But he's just gatewaying to Machaka, and from there we can walk into Elmish territory. We have my other Ditanu here who is attacking Isham Forest, and like I said, there's a wolf coming to give him his anti-magic amulet back. So as soon as this guy stops being insane, we'll have 2 Titanus raiding, and then a 3rd flying up from the south. And while that's going on, we should just be able to have 2 armies walking forwards, knocking over forts. This fort's going to fall over in 1 turn. This one, I've got my Earth guy moving to Machaka to cast Crumble with the increased ritual range. That should be able to knock over this fort. And I think this fort, depending on whether it paths through water or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, that would reach. Some spells can path through water and some can't for the purposes of determining range. I'm not sure about Crumble. And I have loads of priests in this area as well. At the moment they're just preaching on the coast. They'll get temples up along here when I can. And there is... oh, where's the... go with the Amulet of the Fish? He was supposed to be moving here. So there's an Amulet of the Fish Priest moving into the green waters to build a temple. So I think that's everything. We would be attacking Ulm in earnest this turn, but slightly delayed because of technical difficulties. It should be fine. We'll have 20 death gems next turn, so I'll alchemize a few more to summon another Ditanu. Might even summon him down here. I could do. I don't know. I think I'm probably gonna roll out all these Zamzamites, to be honest. Okay, ending turn. So thanks for watching. That was turn 56, and I'll see you next turn. Hello and welcome back. Lots of stuff happening this turn. We got evocation to 5. Lots of things here that we could cast. Astral spells are both good. Stellar Cascades is a fatigue spell. Astral Geyser is a very large AoE armor negating damage spell. Also got Earthquake and Gifts from Heaven, which we can also pretty much cast. We've got 2 guys that can do Falling Frost as well. And a few guys who can do Falling Fires. Next level we get Mind Hunt, which might be useful for killing that whatever it is that's running through my territory, diseasing everything. Might try casting that at it. So I'm going to go all the way to 6, and then I'm going to stop briefly and go into Blood Magic. I figure I should pick up these national spells at 3 and 4, and then send Lesser Horror at 5. It should be fairly quick, it shouldn't take us too long to hit 5. And then after that we'll go back into Evocation for a bit more. Cast Stock Knowledge, not find any sites. Mazix, Gateway, we gatewayed a bunch of stuff to Machaka. Caught 11 slaves, and then did some battles. So, Queen Forest first of all, just breaking siege against some Vine Men. Nothing too interesting. You can see some fireballs, there's a Blade Wind, there's a Flying Giant. Great stuff, excellent. Next, Monarch Woods. This was me attacking Alm's Fort. Looks like there's like 3 points of province defense or something. Not too interesting. This goes right immediately, which I thought was pretty odd. Excellent. That's Monarch Woods. Somehow lost a skeleton. And Monarch Woods is already broken open, which we assumed would happen. Also attacked into Vishen Forest. This was my Ditani doing a raid into mostly just a few bits of province defense. I like the Scout who's defending. Nothing too difficult. There's Vishen. This guy actually got into the Hall of Fame from that, which is quite nice. And finally we attacked into Ablak with our other Ditani. This is our lightly geared Ditani that I sent into a ton of barbs. Let's see how he'd fare. One thing I realised is that even though he's undead, he does pick up quite a bit of fatigue from casting those 3 spells. It's worth bearing in mind. This will go down every turn, but most of my other Ditanos have Boots of the Messenger, so it's not quite as noticeable. But he still had 30 fatigue at the end of the battle, even with Blood Surge up. And he got disease, but that's not a big deal. So we took Ablak back. Lots of events too. Lavendalon, we got attacked by Vine Men again. I don't know what the deal is with these Vine Men, they don't like me very much. Volgard though, we gained a Lumber Construct. I've had one of these before in one of my other games. In my Femoria game I got this event. Not the most potent combatant I've ever seen. Might be funny to gear this guy up and send him into the arena. Haunted Woods. My farmers angered a vengeful entity of the wild. Bit silly of them, wasn't it? Why would they do that? So we might have to patrol out a dire pig when we get chance. Feral Woods. Oh, we sent the Nature Mage into the province that had that Dryad event. And apparently, as soon as he arrived, he just immediately got given Nature Magic +1, which is really nice. If I'd have known that the event does that, I might have just sent my Pretender in and seen if my Pretender went from Nature 7 to Nature 8. That would have been pretty good. Parched Expanse, a priest, gave us 232 gold. Good stuff. Kazavik Highlands, Brigands took up residence in Ruin, and minus 25 tax in Ashdod. So we lost Lavendalon to Vine Men. Deadly Disease is now in Queen Forest. Then we had this battle. This was a bit... Remember the Lilith that I summoned right at the beginning of the game? I finally gave her a bottle, some acorns. I was going to send her into Elmish territory to try seducing some people. But I made one kind of mistake, which is because she's an assassin, I thought, oh, there's no point scripting her, right? Because assassins just do whatever during assassinations. But I forgot she could still be, like, caught in stealth and have to have an actual fight, which is what this is. Yeah. So that happened. So that was the first thing I did with my Lilith. I finally moved her into enemy territory, and she just died immediately after being instantly discovered. So what did that cost me? 25 nature gems, and the bottle's like 10 gems, and the acorn I think is another 5 gems. Not my most impressive moment in the history of Dominions, but oh well. I don't think we really could have done much for this thing anyway. She doesn't seem that good, but I would have liked to at least been able to try. Caught a scout. Oh no, caught the brigand leader that was from that other event. That's nice. I can start moving these guys around now. Finished our fort in our throne. Cracked open Monarch Woods, as I said. Cured 6 diseases. Killed some brigands. And Pretender and Smallering Surgery entered the Hall of Fame. He is heroically strong. So currently his strength is at 24, up from 22 apparently. Oh no, 26 up from 24. Okay, that makes more sense. Good for him. Right. So this turn, a couple of rituals. Let me just get up my notes app on my phone, guys. Hold still. Rituals. Dome of Flaming Death in Bandar Log and Ditanu in Queen Forest. Okay. So Bandar Log, we're doing the Dome of Flaming Death. I'm using my 2 fire boosters to do this. I also noticed that we have another disease guy here, so he's moving to Parched Expanse, where the Dominion is still 10. And down in Queen Forest, I'm casting Dirge for the Dead here. So we'll have our next Ditanu here in Queen Forest. To go along with that, I started forging a bunch of stuff for a Ditanu this turn, but I thought I'd try using some other gems that aren't fire and death and stuff, because you know, particularly firebrands and stuff are quite a lot of fire gems. I don't have any at the moment. Also out of pearls, interestingly. So I'm forging some kind of different items. I'll show them off when he's geared, but just to very quickly go through them. Getting another Wing Shoes, Storm Spool, Chainmail of Displacement, and getting another Ring of Regen, Boots of the Messenger, Snake Bladder Stick, which is a AoE poison weapon, another Lead Shield, an Astral Serpent, forging a couple more boosters as well to replace some of my other ones, because I'm sending some of my Astral boosters into combat at the moment. Yeah, looks like everything. There's the other crystal coin as well. So we'll have another Ditanu down here next turn, and we'll gear it up using some slightly different gear. See how that goes. Also empowering this guy into blood again, up to blood 2. Hopefully he is lucky again and does not get horror marked. Other things that are happening this turn is I'm building lots of temples. I think I'm doing 3 this turn. So I get 1 temple going down underwater. We've got another temple going down on this coast, and then another one in Yellow Mountains. So 3 more temples this turn. Still 6 enemy dominion in the skill area. We're up to 2 in Bandar Log. Was that down to 1 at one point? I think it might have been. Yeah. So that just leaves movements. Lumber Construct is heading to Morn. Just sit there. And my Shadowbrand Ditanu is going to head up to Lavendalon to take back this province from Fine Ogres, and then he'll patrol Haunted Woods for the monstrous boar. The Flying Ditanu, who just took Ablak, can actually fly straight into Ulm from here, which is great. So we've got our Ditanu in Vishan, who's going to attack Wick, and our Ditanu in Ablak, who's going to attack Great Dunes. So these 2 provinces will get attacked next turn. Should be fine. unless he just happens to move a huge stack into one of these provinces, but I don't think he will. Up here is where the main sort of army movements are going. Unfortunately, I can't move from Queen Forest to anywhere here in one turn. So these guys have to just make a sideways move into Farron. Let's sit there for a second. It's a bit awkward. So here they are. They are arranged in a nice arrow formation like this. And there's a few different spells going down. Our fire guys now can Phoenix Power and then cast Fire Cloud. So I'm going to drop a few Fire Clouds on the battlefield. We can also do Falling Fires as well. Some of my Fire Mages do that instead. Anything else we haven't seen? This guy's doing some Nether Bolts. He's my Astral 1 Death 1 guy. Gives him something a little bit different to cast. You've got Clever Barak doing some Soul Slays. Kotharat here doing some Horde of Skeletons. And my guys are gifting Flight some Giants. Nothing too crazy there. The stuff that just got gatewayed here is being led by Dome Lover 69. It's going to head into Monarch Woods. There's quite a lot of stuff here now. We're actually not storming the fort this turn because Ulm had quite a lot of knights over here last turn. And they've all moved to Haloma this turn. So I thought it's probable that he's going to roll out this 110 unit stack into Monarch Woods to try and fight me, to take it back. So instead of storming the fort, I'm just going to sit here and reinforce. My expectation is that he breaks siege and moves into me. So we'll be defending with this big army. So it's mostly just, it's a mixture of skeletons and giants in all these squares. And again, things are pretty typical besides that. You've got the fire guys doing Fire Cloud and Falling Fires. Ashdod guys do Body Ethereal, but then they switch to doing Stellar Cascades if they're S2, which is AoE 5 fatigue damage. Earth guys are still doing Legions of Steel. There's my Prophet, he's doing Divine Bless as well. There's another fire guy. Lots of Legions of Steel. I put Dome Lover into a Communion. He's going to be dropping some Astral Geysers. This is quite a... It doesn't really cost much to cast this, and it also doesn't scale that much. Range scales a bit, but damage doesn't scale. But the Communion is just because I want him to be able to just cast this as much as possible. It's a very, very large AoE, and it's armor negating, which seems like it would be good against Ulmish troops. So AoE 10, 2 armor negating damage against human-sized troops. If we assume that there's 3 units in a square, potentially we could hit 30 units for 2 damage each, which is 60 damage a pop. It's pretty decent. There's going to be people listening to this going, that's not how spells work, you fucker. And I know it probably isn't, but that's how I assume it works, so I'm just going to go with it. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. We've also got the Pretender Enlarging Surgery, who went insane last turn. He's finally moving into Truria. What would be really awkward would be if Ulm moved his big stack into this province and I had to just fight it all with my Ditanu, because that would be like a real test of skill if we could kill all that. But we'll see how it goes. So yeah, so raiding these 2 provinces, raiding this province as well, which is a bit more risky. Moving 1 army into Farron, getting ready to move out, and then moving a reinforcing army onto Monarch to possibly defend against a counter-attack from Ulm. All these other red lines. Disease guy moving, nature guy moving here, and this movement is... Oh yeah, I've got a fire 3 guy. I'm going to slowly move down to Machaka. I don't have any spare wing chews, unfortunately, so he's going to have to slowly march through this awkward terrain. Yeah, and a few times, nothing. Alright. Oh, looks like Gittiers just took his turn as well. Cool. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you shortly.